Pokemon fans, welcome back. I'm Professor K for the Pokemon Evolutionaries, and we are back again with another Top 8 US Nationals deck profile. This time we're going to look at the deck that won it all. That's right, Jason Klaczynski's Seismitoad Garbodor deck. I left this one for last for a number of reasons, mostly that being we all have heard of Seismitoad Garbodor decks before. Even if they are slightly different in cards, I left this one for last just because it's probably the least original deck that was seen, and I figured you guys would appreciate seeing the more creative decks first. Even though Jason Klaczynski deserves all the credit that he did for winning the tournament, I feel that the other decks deserve to be featured first. So we're going to close things out with the US Nationals Top 8 Deck Profile Week with the competitive champion Jason Klaczynski. So this was the first actual US Nationals that he won, even though he's a 3-time world champion, so it's a pretty big accomplishment nonetheless. Field of 911, I think, people in the Masters division. He came out on top. So let's take a look at what took down the mighty Wailord deck, starting with 4 copies of Seismitoad EX. You can use the attack Quaking Punch, and in this deck you also have access to Grenade Hammer, which is 130 damage, and it also does 30 damage to 2 of your own benched Pokemon. I'm sure there were instances where he had to use Grenade Hammer, tried to use it against Wailord, but Wailord has a lot of energy denial, so there's not a lot you can do against that. But he did manage to take it down. It was very, very exciting to watch, especially live. The crowd was really into it, and I was happy to see that people were rooting for the non-Wailord deck, even though I don't like Toad very much. Nonetheless. Alright, so the other Pokemon here in the deck are 2 copies of Trubbish. Doesn't matter which one you use. Again, 70 HP just to get yourself out to 2 copies of Garbodor. This is definitely one of Jason's favorite cards. He used it in so many decks that he's won big tournaments with. Garbotoxin, if the ability is activated if the Garbodor has a Pokemon tool card attached to it, then each Pokemon in play in each player's hand, discard pile, and in play has no abilities. No discard pile as well. Has no abilities at all whatsoever. So Garbodor shuts all abilities down and really makes for a tough game for your opponent and sometimes for you if you're dependent on any kind of abilities. We've also got 2 copies of Shaman EX with the ability setup. Obviously not going to be effective if Garbodor's in play with a Pokemon tool card attached to it. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may draw cards until you have 6 total cards in your hand. Put that down there. Now, what you're looking at there is the entire Pokemon lineup for this deck. This is the deck that won US Nationals with a grand total of 10 Pokemon. Only 4 of them attack. Well, you can attack with Shaman, but you don't really want to. So, yeah, that's it. Quite impressive, quite mind-blowing if you really think about it. Alright, so under the supporter lineup, we have 4 copies of Professor Sycamore. Once again, best draw supporter in the game. Discard your hand, draw 7 cards. Plain and simple. It'll be around for quite some time as well. So we also have 3 copies of N. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck, and each player draws a number of cards equal to the amount of prize cards they have remaining. That is, oops, I'm sorry. There's actually 4 copies of N. You'll have to excuse me, I am bulk recording every one of these deck profiles, building it and taking them apart in between videos. So I gotta admit, I'm a little burnt out. 4 copies of N. There you go. We also have 2 copies of Lysander. Getting everything that you want up off the bench into the active position is always good. So 2 copies of Lysander will allow you to get something out of the active position that you don't necessarily want there, or something on the bench that's threatening you just a little bit more. Oh, we also have 1 copy of Colress. I saw the blue card and thought it was 2. 1 copy of Colress. Shuffle your hand into your deck and draw a number of cards equal to the number of benched Pokemon on your side and your opponent's. Very good draw card when you're facing against Skyfield decks. This is the card I picked up along with it because it was blue, just like the Team Plasma logo cards are. Shadow Triad. Put a Team Plasma card from your discard pile into your hand. This will allow you to get back your Colresses and also your Hypnotoxic Lasers, as you will soon see. 1 copy of Team Flare Grunt. Discard an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon when you have nothing better to do. Energy Denial is always great. 1 copy of AZ. Put 1 Pokemon from your hand, or put 1 of your Pokemon into your hand. Oh my gosh. Discard all cards attached to this Pokemon. AZ is really good for picking up hurt Seismitoads that are about to get knocked out, and you can save them to prevent your opponent from taking 2 prizes. We also have 1 copy of Xerosic. Choose a Pokemon tool or special energy card attached to the Pokemon in play, either yours or your opponent's. Really good for getting off head ringers and also discarding special energy away from your opponents. Alright, on to the item lineup. No surprise here, Toad plays Hypnotoxic Lasers. 4 of them as a matter of fact, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is also asleep. Very annoying card, but with the ban of Lysander's trump card, no longer can you get more than, well, 4 lasers if you don't play Shadow Triad. But that's where Jason really stepped things up and played a card that allowed him to play a lot of Hypnotoxic Lasers if he should choose to, which he did many times on stream. We also have 4 copies of Ultra Ball, discard 2 cards, get a Pokemon out of the deck, and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. This will get out all of the Pokemon that you have in play here, plus it helps make it easier to allow Shaman's ability to draw more cards. We also have 4 copies of Crushing Hammer. The hammer of choice for Jason Klaczynski is 4 copies of Crushing Hammer. Flip a coin. If heads, discard an energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Very annoying when you have energy denial like this. Team Flare Grunt, Crushing Hammers, definitely a pain if you can flip heads on those Crushing Hammers. We have 3 copies of VS Seeker to allow you to get back any of these supporters, especially the ones you play one of. You're probably going to discard them some point throughout the game without actually using them. You can always get them back with VS Seeker as long as you're not item locked yourself. We also have 3 copies of Muscle Band because Seismitoad's 30 damage isn't enough to win tournaments. 20 more is definitely helpful. Alongside of Hypnotoxic Laser and Burbank City Gym, you can deal a lot more damage for a double colorless, and you're also locking your opponent out of items, so Muscle Band helps achieve that goal. 3 copies of that in this deck. Also, to help shut off the abilities of Garbodor without having to attach a Muscle Band to them, you've got 3 copies of Float Stone, which is always better because now you can retreat if you have to get out of the active position if somebody brings you up. Float Stone, the Pokemon that this card is attached to, has 0 retreat cost. Gonna miss Float Stone when it's gone, I'll tell you that. Here's an annoying card, Headringer. 2 copies of that. Each of your opponent's Pokemon EX that this card is attached to, you can attach it to any of your Pokemon. Any of your opponent's Pokemon EX has to attach 1 more colorless energy to attack. So that means any kind of energy. If it requires a double colorless and a water energy, now it needs a double colorless, a water energy, and any other type of energy that you want. So that's what Headringer does. It's very annoying, but it's also a very good card. 1 copy, just 1, of Enhanced Hammer. This is kind of a surprise. I would have expected to see a 3-2 split between Crushing and Enhanced, but only 1 Enhanced Hammer. Discard a special energy card attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Jason's very well known for liking to play decks that include cards like Garbodor, Hypnotoxic Laser, Enhanced Hammer, Crushing Hammer. That's kind of his MO. We have 1 copy of Computer Search, discard 2 cards, and get 1 card out of the deck, any one that you want. Computer Search is basically the ace-spec of choice for just about everyone these days to really just speed things up. We have 3 copies of Burbank City Gym. Place 2 more damage counters on poison Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's, in between turns. Obviously really effective alongside of Hypnotoxic Laser. Makes it that much more powerful. Makes it 30, 60, and then 80 damage in 1 turn. 30 coming back as 110, and then you're knocking everything out the next turn. It's pretty brutal. Alright, that is it for Pokemon, supporters, items, and stadiums. Now onto the energy. All Toad decks play 4 copies of double colorless energy when it's the main focus, so this should not come as a surprise to see 4 double colorless energy in this deck as well to power up our Quaking Punches in 1 turn. I'm actually going to put these out that way because I'm running out of room here. And also we got 3 copies of Water Energy should we ever need to use Grenade Hammer. 2 of them will be required to power up a Toad. So, I mean, it's not going to happen that often, but you might come across a circumstance where you need to get a knockout fast and you don't care about your bench because it's close to the end of the game and you need to get those prizes. So you can use Grenade Hammer as long as you run those 3 Water Energy as well. If you face an Aegislash, 2 Water Energy can power up a Quaking Punch and still do damage to the Aegislash. Alright guys, that is the deck. This is what won the Pokemon 2015 US National Championship for Jason Klaczynski. A very, very skilled player, did a great job. Alright guys, that's the deck. Do with it what you will. That is it for this week of US Top 8 National Championship decks. Hopefully you enjoyed the ride, and we'll be having something special for you soon too if you stick around for that. So be sure to stay tuned for more content throughout the week, and if you're not already subscribed, do so because you're not going to want to miss it. And of course, like this video if you liked it, and comment down below if you have anything you'd like to say. Alright, Hopefully you guys appreciated all the work that I put into this because it was quite a bit of work, and we will see you guys next time. I'm Professor K for the Pokemon Evolutionaries.